Section 2.3 Interactive Assignment Objective 1. The following data represent the number of grams of fat in breakfast meals offered at a local fast food restaurant. In Part A, we want to construct an ordered stem and leaf plot and then describe the shape of the distribution. Now here you can see here that the legend tells us that 5, which is the stem, the leaf is 1, would represent 51 grams of fat. Now, here we have our data. In order to construct a stem and leaf plot, in a stem and leaf plot, the stem of the data value will consist of the digits to the left of the rightmost digit. The leaf of a data value will be the rightmost digit. For the data that's given, the stem will consist of the tens place, and the leaf will consist of the ones place. The values, in this case here, the values, let me go ahead and correct that there, the values that make up the stems are shown below, where we have 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, by looking at that, we have ones, and if you notice that a 0 is used to represent numbers between 1 and 9. Okay, and then we're going to write each leaf corresponding to the stems to the right of the vertical line in ascending order. Before we do this, to make this easier, we're going to first sort the data in ascending order. So we're going to start with the smallest number. What's the smallest number in our data set? Well, we have 2. So therefore we have 2. And then we have 6, and then another 6. And then we have 7. And then we have 8. Okay, the next number is going to be 10. And then the next number that we have is going to be 13. And then the next number is 14. And then the next number that we have is 17. And then we have another 17. And then we have another 17. Okay, the next number is 18. And then we have another 18. Okay, and then we have 21. And then 22. And then 26. And then a 28. And another 28. Okay, and then we have 31. And then we have 32. And then 39. And then last one here is we have 43. Okay, and so now keep in mind that in our first numbers, technically this would be 0, 2. And this would be 0, 6. And this would be 0, 6. And so on. So therefore, we're going to say that the stem, in this case here, is going to be our 0. And so the leaves are going to be that particular number. So the leaf in this case for the first one is going to be 2. And then the next leaf is 6. And the next leaf is 6. And then the next leaf is 7, and then the next leaf is 8. Okay, so again, let me just verify this. This is 0, 7, and this is 0, 8. And again, just recall here that the 0 represents the stem. Okay, now the next stem is going to be 1. So here's 1, there's 1, there's 1, there's 1, there's 1, there's 1, another 1 there. So therefore, that represents the stem, and now we're going to write the leaves. So we have a 0 that represents 10, and then, oops, no commas. So got to make sure no commas. So it's going to be 0, and then 3, and then 4, and then 7, 7, 7, 8, and then 8. Okay, now let's take a look at the next stem, which is 2. So here are our stems for 2, and then let's go ahead and write in our leaves. So our leaves are going to be 1, 2, 6, 8, and then 8. Okay, our next stem is a 3. So those are our stems, and then we're going to write the leaves in the corresponding space. So we have a 1, a 2, and then a 9. Okay, and then the last one, we have a stem of 4, and then the leaf of that 4 is going to be the value of 3. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to go ahead and then open up Statcrunch again, and then we're going to put our values in there. Okay, now again, keep in mind here that if you look down below, it says we're going to put our answers in. So we're just going to go ahead and put in the stem of 2 space 6 space 6 space 7 space and then 8. And then the next leaf is 0 space 3 space 4 space 7 space 7 space 7 space 8 space 8. Okay, and then the leaves for 2, we have 1, 2, 6, 8, and 8. Okay, and then the leaves for 3 are going to be 1, 2, and then 9. And then the leaf for 4 is going to be 3. Now let's go ahead and check our results to make sure we have this correct. Okay, so now we need to determine what is the distribution. Okay, is it skewed right, skewed left, bell-shaped, or uniform? So in order for us to do that, what we're going to do is the following. Okay, now again, what we're going to do here is look at the following situation. We're going to see that it's either going to be skewed right, skewed left, bell-shaped, and uniform. Now, what we're going to do is we want to notice the stem and leaf plot looks much like a histogram turned on its side. Now, for a uniform distribution, the frequency of each value of the variable is evenly spread out across the values of the variable. In a bell-shaped distribution, the highest frequency occurs in the middle, and the frequencies tail off at smaller and larger values. In a skewed right distribution, the tail toward larger values from the peak is longer than the tail towards smaller values, and then in a skewed left distribution, the tail towards smaller values is longer. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you something. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just go ahead and copy this, what we just finished here. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just minimize this, and I'm going to show you what I mean by, so if we rotated this, okay, so if we rotated this in that way, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'm just going to minimize this again a little bit more, and then I want you to see what's happening here. So if I draw a curve, right, so if I was drawing this curve, okay, you can see that this tail is now going to skew right. Now again, that's if I rotated this, so I can see what this would look like. Therefore, the distribution of this given data is skewed right. Now let's check our result to make sure we're good with that. So the distribution should be skewed right. Check our answer, and therefore that is our result.